Alright, just gonna get right into it because I tried to explain how, oh, some of these books are from last time and some of these books are from last time. Basically, I will say when the book is from the previous time, like the time before when I just showed off these books. Like Area 10, that is from the most previous one I was doing the books I'll be reading for the next few weeks. But the whole point of me doing like a smaller pile is usually I like to do at least 15. And yeah, we have 15 here, but 15 library books, not 11. And then, but even then, honestly, I think we're good. But it's just one of those things. Like, it's like, to have such a, like, a little pile, like, I had to justify it. And it's like, yeah, I'm justifying because of the books from last time that I have still yet to return. Because it was Avengers World, a complete collection, which was 23 issues. Let's get into that. That was a good way of explaining it. Right, let's get into it. So first up, I'm going to review these two at the same time because they're from the same author, and there is a sort of point to it. So this is Area 10 by Christos Gage, and this is Lion of Rora by Christos Gage. Before I get into it, I do want to mention this one thing. I thought this was like one of those Newbery award-winning books, you know, that little like seal that they give to those books. No, this is part of... This is just an aesthetic to the book. Because this shows up in the book itself. So I felt really stupid reading it. I was like, oh, it's not Entenebri. What was it again? Entenebri Lux isn't an award-winning thing. It isn't like a... Wait, what do you call it? Like a sweepstakes. Come on, brain. But it isn't like your Newbery Award, your Newbery... What do you call Newbery Award. There's gonna be more to it. Or you're like your Eisner. It's none of those. It's just book itself is... It's just an aesthetic that appears in the book itself. So anyways, as of these two books and Fortnite, Batman Fortnite, which I don't think that would even... I should even count it. But none of those have been as good as Absolution by Christos Gage. At least in the sense of pacing. Because Christos Gage, even with Batman Fortnite, seemed to have a pretty good, seemed to know what good pacing was. And Area 10 has that, but Lion of Rora was just kind of boring. Like, it tells... I guess it goes back to way back way back a few years ago when I said I wasn't the biggest fan of war comics, and that kind of does still ring true today, but I do give them more of a chance, and I do find that I've liked more than I haven't. Like Son of Hitler I really liked, although that was more historical fiction. It wasn't like war, actually. Simon Says was technically war, but even that, like all those books I'm mentioning them, they all have twists. The other side, like Jason Aaron was a good one, but that's like only one instance in the sea of billions of war comics. I did like the flashback issues to Vietnam in Preacher, but other than that, oh yeah, and Garth Ennis, he also did The Night Witches, and I even kind of like the other one. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But it was one I would always check out along with Night Witches. So next time I check that out, which will be very soon, you'll see it there. But I can't remember what it was. But I like Night Witches better. The other one was just kind of like okay, but above average still. Now Area 10 is a crime comic, and crime is my favorite crime graphic novels. Saying comic is kind of sounds weird. Graphic novels sounds a lot better, but as far as graphic novels go, probably my favorite genre in the sense of how much of them I've liked and how great the streak is, I would say crime is that. Fantasy too, historical fiction, although this is also historical fiction. But both of these, I would say, were just not bad, but this one is something better. This one, as it goes along, is really, really good, but you have to sit through about 80 pages of... It's not terrible. One strength that this book has, Area 10, is that when they are explaining things they need to explain so the reader is caught up to speed, I was actually invested in that. Usually, I'm not. Usually, I clock out and my brain just... like forgets everything that was just said to me, and then so I don't die for it, so that my brain doesn't just completely shut off. I'm not tired of boredom, but so my brain doesn't completely shut off. It just forgets what was just said and moves on and keeps reading. That did not happen this time. I actually learned something from this graphic novel that I don't think I'll ever forget. When I hear the word tree pinning, I think it's trepanning or tree pinning. It's TREE, not like a tree, TRE, one E, and then panning. And it's, I'm not gonna say what it is. If those of you who know, I'm sorry, I actually spoil a little bit of what happens in this book, though. But basically, that's what it is, trepanning. Because it's on the cover. You're gonna put two and two together. But when they're explaining how that works, and it sounded like it's something that's actually like does happen in real life, and I do honestly believe with how crazy we are today in today's world that it's something that some people have done because people are crazy. I would know. I have met some crazy people in my life, especially recently. Anyways, so when they're explaining that, it's actually investing, and they kind of do go into like they don't just explain it once, they explain it again, and they go more into detail, and like it's stuff like that where they'll go into detail about certain things again you need to know in order to follow what's going on in the comic and to get some context. And again, that's very, very interesting. But it gets to be a lot. And I actually, even though this book looks really, really thin, I had to read this within 2 days. So I started it one night, gave up after 80 pages. So I was like, it's a lot of reading, and I don't want to get bored. So let's just put the bookmark in, and I'll finish the rest tomorrow. And tomorrow, and then the next night, it was a lot faster. And I finished this one, I actually like really enjoyed it. But it's still not as good as Absolution. But this is the closest we have gotten. Absolution, I would give like an 8.5. This, I give an 8 out of 10. And Lion of Aurora, it's just, I don't know if it's not my thing. It's just the way that this is told. It's not my thing. It's kind of told in a kind of dry manner. There are a few things I liked. If I can find it, I hope I can. If not, I'm just going to explain what happens. But the stuff with his family is really interesting. And it would have been nice, I know it couldn't because it's based off a true story, but it would be nice if it just focused on his family, and then the whole, like, against the war. I don't know, there's a way to make that story interesting, and it starts out really interesting. I like how everything is set up. So here, right here. So this is his son right here. And they were talking about how the father can't read, but the son can. And that is an extremely interesting dynamic. Is it here? It's not even here. No, it's right. So it's right here. So you can see what the father is doing with the mother, trying to learn how to read. And that isn't such a crazy dynamic because that's how life was back then. It was extremely, it was the opposite of rare. I don't know why I can't think of that word, but common. It was extremely common for grown men to not know how to read, and grown women, obviously. And that dynamic is just so interesting to me, and they make it extremely interesting here. Where is that in the rest of the comic? Where is that taking something that should be interesting and making it more interesting for the rest of the comic? I don't know. I don't know if it was just me expecting that it would be more of that, but it was like Rebels by Brian Wood, but they took away all of what I liked about Rebels from Brian Wood and kept some of it. Rebels by Brian Wood is something that takes place way far in the past, back before the iPad, and it makes it interesting. It takes place in like 17, like in the Revolutionary War. Something that when I was learning in social studies in junior year, I was trying not to fall asleep. But I read that comic, and it's investing to me to the point where I'm actually interested in the Revolutionary War. Not like to the point where I'm going to check out some documentaries, no. But I actually, I've found a new appreciation for Assassin's Creed 3 because it takes place in the Revolutionary War. Kind of in that dynamic. Or if I watch a movie or if I hear there's a movie coming out about the Revolutionary War, I'll be more interested to check it out because of Rebels. This, when I hear this guy's name come up and there's a new movie coming out, I'll be like, I might check it out, but I'm going to read Land of Aurora again in anticipation, aren't I? So, This one, I'll be generous because of how they set up, and throughout there is some interesting. I wasn't completely bored, so 5 out of 10. Now on to what may already be my pick of the week, and that is Same Difference. So Same Difference, the best way I can explain it is it's like Scott Pilgrim, but without the Seven Evil X's twist. This is just like a slice of life, day in the life of these characters, and it is one of the most investing, interesting, humorous, relatable pieces that I have read, graphic novels, and just pieces of literature in general that I have read in a very, very, very long time. And the best part, it is written by Derek Kirk Kim. I just got a graphic novel by him. I didn't know who the guy was, so reading this, I'm like, hey, now I know he's a damn good writer. At least he's capable of being really damn good. 9 out of 10. Definitely should read. It's 80 pages. It is pretty. Though I was going through this, I think I mentioned it in the cut that I eventually end up uploading. I mentioned how it was pretty wordy, and it is, but it's kind of more like you feel each page because of how wordy it is. But that is fine. And honestly, after a while, I was like, I'm kind of glad it's this wordy. It's, again, a lot of relatability here. I am around the age of the main character, so I have the same thoughts that he's had about, like, so I will spoil one little plot point. It's not too much, but so the handout means spoilers. So he's with his friend. I'm not gonna say why they are, because it's a very, very funny way of how they get to where they're at. But, so he meets up with an old schoolmate of his, a school friend of his, or not, well, maybe not, and the school friend has like this incredible life, like everything is going for him. Everything's going great for that friend, and like top of his world, cannot be any better unless he won the lottery. And the main character is working kind of a dead-end job and doesn't have too much going in his life, and that's how I felt. But like I've always been like, this guy's doing this, that guy's doing that. I'm not like I can name any names, but it's more like a good example is a friend from my school that I was pretty good friends with, especially as I moved on towards high school. He is married and he has a damn good house. Like the house he has because of his girlfriend, his wife. I think they they got married. I think not married. I think they're like fiancés. But his fiancée has like this. His fiancée is really rich. Comes from a rich family. But seeing that, I was like, damn, like he's moved ahead in life. Now, am I jealous? No, but I'm kind of like, he's got what I kind of do want. But it's more just like jealous in the sense that he has something that I've been striving for a long time. Now, getting married, I don't know. Getting a relationship, yes. But it is one of those things I was like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Now, it does not keep me up at night, though. That specific detail. But it is something that I kind of was like, hey, can I run through that? All right. So now no more spoilers. And this gets a 9 out of 10. Like I said before. Definitely a recommend. I'm going to take a little break and check my text, because I was anticipating this for a while. Next up is I Thought You Would Be Funnier. This is, I'm just going to show what this is, and this is every page. It's just, that page, that's the second chapter. It is just, come on now, this. And not all the time with this, so it's more like that. It's just a single sentence of it's, let me explain. It's basically New Yorker comics. Like New Yorker strips, the little line of dialogue, and then a drawing. That's all this book is. Most of it is pretty funny, and it's a very quick read too. So I was never bored. Shannon Wheeler is an author I will check out more of. There were some things that if I actually audibly laugh from something from a humor comic, that is an incredible feat. Because my comedy, if you want to know what my comedy is like, it's only plays Ding Dong and Julian Era, or Adam and Pals in general. That's my sense of humor. So just that kind of like absurdist, whatever the hell you call it, humor. Smiling Friends was one of my favorite Probably like one of my top favorite cartoons of all time, and it's only had one season, actually 2 seasons. Our text. All right. So next one up is. So yeah. Oh, sorry. The rating. Sorry. It's of course I texted somebody. It was a coworker about like something in general. And I texted her, and it was like about a half hour ago. And of course I get a text when I'm filming. All right. Moving on. So we get so I don't know how to rate this one because it's not an actual comic. It's not. No. In general, I would say it's an 7 out of 10. I think that's fair because again, not every. I think I should judge this of how much it made me laugh and how much I got out of it. And I would say a 7 out of 10. It is above average, but not like super good or anything like that. It's not like the. It didn't. As far as humor comics go, I was not bursting at. No, it's not bursting. It seems. It wasn't gut bustingly laugh. I wasn't gut buster or anything like that. But though, again, I audibly laughed. So with that, it's above average, and it was more than once too. I can't think of exactly what it was. One was relationships, and it reminds me of how my sister and her boyfriend are. So I was like, oh, haha, very funny. And I showed it to her, and she got a kick out of it. So that in itself would already get it at 6 out of 10. And there was a couple more times I laughed, 7 out of 10. There was no jokes that were like agonized, like groaners, but there were some that was like I would only get that if I was in that line of work or if I was in that situation. I get it, sitcom, but it was kind of weird, and some of them I just plain did not understand. Like, if not even, I didn't get it at all. It was kind of like, it was exactly like how New Yorker comics strips are for some people. They just do not get it because they don't have the context. I just don't have the context. But again, some of them are pretty funny. And he's able to do sex humor in a way that even I find funny, and that's pretty hard too for me to laugh at sex humor. Usually you fall into one, like there's like 5 different categories you fall under with sex humor, and you guys stick the landing or be like, yeah, I saw it coming. Trevor Wallace is the exact person I always think of when I think of sex humor not always being funny. Sometimes it is, but if I can predict where the joke is going and it's exactly like that, that's bad. I do like this. I do like his comedy though. I think before he was so like, because it's like a drinking game for a YouTube short. For him to make sex jokes, even for something that doesn't technically ask for it, he will make. Like if he's talking about like an airport, he'll make a masturbation joke, and it's like I was expecting that, but again, he will sometimes he's to just rely on that. Like it's not every single video. Like it's constant, but it's at least once or twice. I haven't like watched him in a long time. I kind of unsubscribed from him because he was just doing too much of that, and I was like, yeah, I get it, but it's like, all right. It's kind of like, because I don't mind sex humor. I'm not trying to be a prude or anything like that. But it's like relying on the same exact humor and relying on having this porn star being your video. And it's like, okay, cool, I watch her too. That's a bit awkward. It's like my father saying it. He watches her too. Okay, I'm going out here now. Bye. And I think at the end of the day, I wasn't used to that. So it's just one of those things. Coming from the guy that if he ever makes the movie of his high school memoir, he's gonna have the porn stars be the teachers as a joke. So, it's just, it was something that I am over now. Again, I think his humor is, for the most part, really funny, but it's just, again, when he relies too much on the sex humor, it was kind of like that. But I can find laughs in sex humor, obviously. Not okay. Definitely not a prude. If you get talking to me for more than, or you know me for more than 3 months, you will know that I'm not a prude at all when it comes to sex jokes and sex in general. And talk about sex in general. Wonder Woman, the True Amazon. This one started out as something I was like, okay, this is for kids, isn't it? And then one of the characters says bitch, and I'm like, okay, so it's not. And there's a little bit of like, okay. And then something happens that is just insane. Like, not completely insane, but it's one of those things that, like, completely floored me. And I was like, damn. Like, it's literally, it's like I said, not out loud, but in my head, I was like saying, Jesus. Like, about 20 different times. Because there was one thing that happens without giving too much away, and it keeps hitting it. It's like, yeah. So it's basically that meme of, but wait, there's more, and it just keeps going. And it's one of those things where I'm like, this is a perfect way to have Diana's, without giving too much away, with having Diana's origin story be told. And I really hope that, you know how people say, oh, Superman's secret origin, Superman birthright, that should be his origin from that should be continuity, that should be official canon. This should be official canon to Wonder Woman, because they explain her exile from Themyscira in a way that's better than Steve Trevor. Oh my god, he's a boy, I'm a girl. And as they do explain it good, I'm not saying they don't explain it good in media. They do, but here it was done so well that I honestly I went back to the Steve Trevor thing. I was like, I get it, but I get it. Don't get me wrong. It's a great origin too, but this one is even better because this one has stakes. And the Steve Trevor one is good. I do like the whole dynamic of, so again, without giving too much away, the dynamic, oh god damn it, the dynamic of Wonder Woman, like she's like a boy, and it's like, oh, they can't leave my whole life here that I have here. I like that part. I'm not trying to be Rachel Zegler over here, but it definitely is one of those things that when you read that, you'll understand when you read it. But I think both. I honestly, maybe the more I think about it right now, no, because it's no. Without giving that, I don't want to spoil it, so let's move on. Basically, both are fine. I don't think True Amazon needs to be in canon, but if they could make a canon, I wouldn't complain, you know. But either way, I could be fine with it. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over them not making True Amazon canon. But Jill Thompson knocks it out of the park in every way. Gone by Jock. This was pretty damn good, but somewhat forgettable. And I didn't give it an 8 out of 10, sorry. Alright, so obviously 9 out of 10, or 8.5 out of 10. No, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Wonder Woman True Amazon. Alright, so going back to Gone. Like I said before, this one it's good, but it's forgettable, kind of. And kind of forgettable. Like, I remember some of it, like, if I flipped through it, like, yeah, I remember where they were that, and I remember that. It's just kind of somewhat standard. Nothing that was too groundbreaking, but it was very interesting. And for me to read this in one sitting and not feel like it was, and not feel each and every page of this book, that's an incredible feat. And it still isn't fasting, so it's still a good book. But obviously not as good as Somna by Becky Cloonan, the other distillery book I read. But distillery seems to be the new image in the sense of knocking out the park. Or not knocking out the park. And like having like a good streak with each and every book. Yeah, again, like I've had good. I would say Boom Studios is another contender. It's not like every other publisher I've read books from them and I've hated everything. And no, it's just with Image, I just have the best streak with them. But 8 out of 10 for Gone. Gone Girl. Reread Beowulf, and it's what I said before. It's very fast paced. Maybe a bit too fast paced, but very good, and I do recommend it. And I think Beowulf, the more I think, like, more I was thinking about it as I was reading it this most recent time, I think Beowulf is just one of those books that everyone freaks out about and says it's like the greatest thing ever because it was one of the first things ever. So this story nowadays maybe is pretty standard to most people. or to most people, to modern day standards. Um, so if you're judging it based off of that, 8 out of 10, and it's still good. Like honestly, I think this, if you have to do a report on Beowulf, hopefully this is historically accurate, so you can read this instead of reading the poem. Or maybe if you want more context, if you want a more interesting way of being told rather than through a poem. I believe it's a poem. I'm not to be mistaken, but I believe it's poetic. I believe it's a poem. You got pictures here. You got great artwork here, and I think this is probably the best way. Honestly, this is the best graphic novel retelling of it. There was another one by Greg Hinkle. No, that's not right. It's not right. It's the other one that's basically just a poem, and there's artwork in the background, and it was awful. I did not like it whatsoever. This is leaps and bounds better. 8 out of 10. Oh, and 7 out of 10 for Gone, if I didn't already say that. So 7 out of 10 Gone, 7 out of 10 for Gone, 8 out of 10 for Beowulf. We're caught up. I didn't forget. Gasolina. This one's a bit hard to recommend. So the main criticism behind this book was that it's just a mess, and it kind of is. There are plot points that will be introduced, but not technically finished. But there is one, like, narrative that is focused on complete. Not like throughout every issue, but just it has a big. You can say it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that is pretty good. There is one plot point I really liked, and I wish they had focused on it more, but they kind of don't. The character disappears. So you're like, okay, so I can draw some conclusions, but I have to do that. Like, can you do it? And it's not trying to be subtle at all or be like ambiguous. It's just I think you forgot. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I do like it. Like the strengths overweigh the weaknesses here. So with that being said, this whole entire series gets an 8 out of 10, and I cannot wait to read it again. And it's my PC, so I can read whenever I want to. So I'll put those to the side because both Beowulf and Gasolina are for my PC. And now for the biggest surprise of the year thus far. Fire and Ice. I actually liked this one. I was actually invested in this one. I actually like the characters. Fire is, like, can be agonizing to people, but there's a point to it that which I think is incredible. But for this book to basically be advertised as for fans of Ryan North's Squirrel Girl and whoever wrote Nubia, Real One, and for this to be really damn good and really investing, that is crazy. Now, how much of it is just me having my expectations be completely exceeded because I was expecting nothing? I don't know, but it's still good. If your library has it, definitely check it out. 7.5 out of 10, just because I feel an 8 is too much. Honestly, I probably give it an 8 out of 10. Star Wars and Dr. Aphra, 9 out of 10. It's my favorite Star Wars comics. They're just damn good. And this one is just as good as Darth Vader is, which is really rare for a sequel to be as good as the predecessor. And Avengers World. I said that this one you could read without having any context of what was going on. No, you kind of need some context. Even I was like, shit. I kind of do know what's going on because I know what Axis is, I know what this is, but and it was good. So you just gotta know what happens in these. It's more like so how everybody knows, like the average comic fan knows Spider-Man One More Day. It's kind of like that. They haven't read it, but they know what happens in Spider-Man One More Day. That's what this is. You just kind of know what happens in these, like that kind of context, and that's all I had to know. And I don't mind that, but some will. So you probably should check a reading order for Avengers World if you really care. But all in all, this was still pretty decent. I think the last time I read it, I guess I liked it more than I did this time around, but not by much. Like last time, probably give it 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 now. Alright, that's it. How long is this video? Oh my good lord, 30 minutes. Every other video is like that. I'll be like, I've only been going on for 15 minutes. Oh my god, 30 minutes. And then like next time I'll be like, oh, this has to be at least a 15-minute video. Oh, it's only 15 minutes. That's it. It's a bit of an exaggeration. But the point. Alright, that's it. I'll end this a second here because I just saw this 13. Hopefully the next video will be to come in. The comic call. Waiting on a few to come in. I do have most of them in right now, but you will see what they are pretty soon here. What I plan on doing is I'm waiting on. So there's when volume 2 comes in of a series, I'll do part 1, and then when the rest come in, part 2, and then as far as comic calls go, and then complete March 2025 haul. Now that's another thing I want to mention: the live stream of the fall to winter of my comic hauls. I don't know. It's a lot of comics to take out of my shelf. I like doing those videos, and there are mistakes I'm sure I made. I want to rectify, but maybe what I'll do is I'll just do like a revamp of those videos, like a redux. Like I'll do them in small increments. Like one day I'll do September, then one day. It's actually a good idea. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'll just do it if I feel the need to. It's also one of those things where like I hate reading comments on my videos. Not that's why I don't do them. And live streams, I seem to have like a good amount of people talking to me. So maybe I'll do a live stream. It's up in the air. I do want to do the video, but it's up in the air because of how much it requires of me to do. And it's not just me. It's also just like getting the time to do it, making sure it won't be interrupted. Because it happens, I'll get interrupted, or it'll be a nice day out, and I want to go outside, and this and that. It's just one of those things. It's, and I don't live alone, so I don't have all the time to myself. I think I do, you know what I mean? So, and the reason for why I was able to do this live stream was because I had the whole day to myself. It's rare, when it comes up, it's rare, but it comes up here. I would say, like, every 3 months it happens. I'll have like a day or two I'm completely left alone the entire day. And I also have a job. At the end of the day, I have a job. So I could do it during the week, but I can't because I have a job. So I have the weekends and holidays and vacations. And that's it. I can't do it in April because we'll be away. I don't know what to do. I do still want to do the video though. At the end of the day, it will be worth it to do it. Because I like doing those videos. I like making sure that I always show the artwork of each book. But even then, I'm kind of like, it's not a big deal, I think as much as I hate to say it, I may retire those videos. Because of the fact I have a job now, and I have to make certain sacrifices, One, I get having a whole lot of time to do my library, to read the books in the library. Like back in the day, I was able to read 25 on a good day. I was able to read before I had a job. On a good day, I was able to read 25 books per day, 25 issues per day. Like again, your average comic issue, 25 of those per day. It's a lot. But I was able to do it not flawlessly. Some days were better than others, but I obviously cannot do that now. Not even on the weekends. And sometimes I like that. Like I now do 11, and especially on the weekends, doing 11 is a good thing because I can find more time to watch movies. It's more like from the library. Ones are down there, so you can't see them. But I'm prattling on. But that is the legal update. It's the same thing again. The whole reason why I did my update was because we were at 3312 or 30, whatever it was. I think it was 3012, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do update and make it so it's like 3525 or something like that. But just end it now. There we go.